let's be
so
toxic.
I put my
Let's
internet
be
journalist
toxic.
pants on again and dove deep into the world of
Yeah,
Reddit
fuck
and
yeah.
Blizzard forums to find out why classic players don't like
Let's be toxic and debunk all these retards, to be honest.
retail WoW.
There are
As a
some
person
opinions
who
that are
enjoys both
correct
classic
and
and
some are
retail, I was curious to
absolutely
find out why
wrong.
so many people prefer to stick to the classic version of the game. I scrolled through
I'd
many
say
older posts
retail
around
has
the
more
subject
players,
and
but whatever.
made posts of my own, and this is what I asked.
Yeah.
I managed
Classic player, what things you found unappealing on retail version of the game? What things do you think are better in classic? What do you like about retail, if anything? What would you would need to change for you to consider playing retail? Okay, I'm a retail player, but I'm gonna answer the question anyways. First thing, what do you find unappealing in the retail version of the game? Words sometimes feels empty. The characters sometimes feel a bit one-sided. The war in Warcraft lost a bit of the meaning. Characters feel stupid, a bit too woke for my likings, but again, it's just a point of view that doesn't even make that much sense, because the wokeness is not something you can really quantify that easily. And then the zones are dead. What do I mean? I hate that the scaling is 160 throughout the whole thing. I preferred much more. I would have rather have a very slow, much slower pace on the leveling side. Because I like leveling, but the zones, I want them to be back to this exact thing. So 110, 15, 25, 50, 58, you know, I want these back. This is what I want back from retail. And the leveling system is absolute dog shit in retail WoW. Then, what things do you think are better in Classic? I already told. The professions, I think, are better in Classic. For how much people may hate profession, I like this way of profession. This is my preferred way of profession. The new type of... I don't like. I don't like the new profession thing. I feel more enthusiastic about leveling this profession than the newer version with all the talent tree and shit. I don't like it. I don't like it. The talents are horrible in Classic, so not those, and the leveling experience, yeah. What do you like about retail, if anything? The simplicity, the Trasmo, the playstyle, basically everything that I haven't mentioned about Classic. One thing probably that I also prefer about Classic, sometimes I feel like the class fantasy is not completely there in retail. Like they get lost on stupid things for no reason, and this seems like the direction is not really there. You know, the nerfs are way better on retail than classic, but nerfs and buffs. What would you? I already play retail, so nothing, and whatever. Let's go on with the video.
to get over 400 answers, and this video is entirely based on the data gathered from those answers
Let's see.
and some other older forum posts.
I'm gonna be very
Last
critical of
time I
everyone,
made a video like
both
this
from
about
retail
why
and
PvPers don't
classic.
like PvP. I tried to find
PvPers don't like PvP. Yeah, I watched the video. Yeah, the game is actually very complex for someone who does not play PvP and never played PvP, especially for new. I have a friend that recently joined World of Warcraft. The first thing I told the poor guy is when he asked about PvP, I said, "Do you love yourself?" And he answered with enough. So I said, "If you touch PvP, you are probably gonna die." And you meant die how, and you are gonna kill yourself, and that's what I told you, because the PvP is absolutely unfriendly on every single point of view, especially for the new players. So not the best welcome experience.
people brought up.
Yeah.
In this video, we're not gonna do that because, well, you'll find out when we get to the last question I asked in my forum posts. So this video is going to be more of an essay type video.
Okay.
We'll find out the most popular reasons.
Okay, so it's just like yeah, shut the fuck up. Never mind.
Classic over retail.
Yeah.
I'm also going to try to
more documentary then.
Yeah. Of this video the best I can, and also share some of my personal thoughts.
Personal opinion. I like personal opinions.
And with that, let's move on to the video.
Yeah. Most brought up topics.
Okay, let's start with the most brought up topics that classic players find unappealing in retail WoW. After reading all the answers
Yes.
and posts, I started with listing the most often highlighted issues and divided them into 5 main topics that we will cover in this video.
Okay.
These are MMO feeling, power
Oh,
progression,
yeah.
focus on endgame, complexity,
Okay.
and Warcraft feeling.
Okay. Wait. I wanna say one thing about everything.
Warcraft.
Okay, so MMO feeling, not really a problem. In all honesty, let me full screen this. My bad, guys. MMO feeling is not completely correct. Why do I say that? I mean, I probably know what they are trying to say because it's just a recurring topic. But the MMO feeling is directly composed by the people. And right now in TBC, I'm watching a few streamers play, and the feeling is the exact same. And people still pretend like the game does. No, it's not the game that does something, it's the people. The problem with TBC, it is more rewarding for people with a group. And that's unfair. It's not an MMO feeling, it's unfair. Because the MMO feeling will be having people around. I have one guy behind me, level 60, on a horse. But the MMO feeling is not that. What people are complaining is something that cannot and will never be reobtained by the community. Because it's a feeling that has gone since ages and will never come back in any way, shape, or form, because the community is not like that anymore. Then, power progression is something that I basically said a few moments ago when I was talking about the thing. Power progression does feel way better in vanilla. It's not just on a leveling side. Yeah, that's one thing I also wanted to add. Leveling the items. I hate the fucking crest system in modern WoW. I wish they just got rid of it. When I drop an item, I want to be happy because I dropped the item. I'd rather receive way less items, but when I drop the item, man, I drop the item, okay? I don't have to farm the fucking crest to upgrade the item and shit. Because I feel like if you you shift the power from upgrading your item to enchantment again, you give the profession a new life, more than now it is. More than now it does, and you shift more again on the MMO feeling. So you go from I drop the item, now I'm gonna have to farm more, because now it's a grind type of feeling. So you shift again from the grind feeling to the MMO feeling, because you drop the item and you equip the shit and you feel powerful. So yeah, the power progression is another good thing that I unluckily lost from retail, and I can't complain, and I cannot disagree with vanilla players. Like we lost that feeling hard time in retail, because I drop an item and I'm like, yeah, okay, now I'm gonna have to do this in heroic and then in mythic and blah blah blah. But you cannot fix that, unluckily. I mean, people dropping the item in mythic are always gonna be a problem. So, or you have two options. If you remember in Dragonflight, there was this thing called the cheat token, where you could buy an object that could be updated 12 times until max level. Now, one thing that I wish, one thing that I just thought about that could fix this problem is that you can drop the item and then you farm. Again, I said I hated crest, but I also thinking about it, you cannot otherwise people doing normal raid and a mythic raid would have the same gear that it's quite kind of not very honest. The skill level is way different, but yeah. So you have this currency, so you remove the crest and valor stone and shit, and you just keep one currency that scales with the right level. So you kill this boss in heroic, now you can upgrade the item that you looted from the boss until like 8 out of 12, and then you kill the guy in mythic and you can also upgrade the item to 12 out of 12 mythic plus, and mythic, and the same goes with mythic plus. After you go over a level, you can upgrade the mythic plus gear level over a thought. But I'm not sure if I would like this system. I'm now explaining this to you because that's the thing that came to my mind, but I'm not sure, honestly, I would like this system. I would have to think a bit more on this side. I'm not completely sure I would enjoy the system. Then next, focus on the end game. I like the retail end game, honestly. I don't have anything else to say. Complexity, I much rather retail complexity. Vanilla complexity feels like a fucking joke. I'm not even joking. It's so stupid. I hate it. The complexity is not even there. You have a button to press and right click. And Warcraft feeling was what I was talking about before. You know, that walk shit that I don't like to call it walk shit, but you know, it's basically that. It lost the war in Warcraft. So yeah, let's go on with the video though. Where is the guy? MMO feeling, yeah. First point. I already said my point, so let's see what we have.
When you think of an MMO
how we
massively multiplayer online
how we compare with those people. Yeah, let's see.
Game, what are the first things that come to your mind? For me, it's a large world, lots of players, and most importantly, interaction between those players. Now, WoW is an MMORPG.
I'd say yes, but would remove the interaction, not necessarily. Sometimes people don't want to interact anyway, but they like the feeling of having people around. So, I mean, that's what RP servers are for. I still, even if I'm not a huge interactor, I do still interact with players. So, yeah.
But a lot of people said that
it does make a decent point, let's say. I don't completely agree, but it's a great point.
And further away from the MMO part and leaning more towards an RPG. Many people said that retail doesn't feel like an MMO because of two main reasons: social interactions and the open world.
Social interactions is based on the players. Again, I have seen basically no interaction right now in TBC as well. The most interaction I've had is a paladin using the hand of justice on me. No, not the hand of justice, or the buff on me. That's basically the most interaction I've had. I've had way more interaction in retail, mining stuff than in classic vanilla for now. Classic TBC. So, don't completely agree.
Definitely a more anti-social game than classic. And this is mostly because of the fact that over the years, Blizzard has tried to make accessing endgame content more convenient through LFG, and now most of the endgame...
Yeah, let's be honest, LFG is story mode. I mean, if you're playing WoW just for the story, LFG is just the best system you have. Let's not... okay. Once, a long time ago, you were forced to even do the story mode to play the raid endgame. So you were forced to have a guild. And that's why the MMO feeling was more there, because you were forced to interact with players. And for some people, that was the big advantage compared to retail now. Because you're not forced, you can just pop in your bubble of LFG and security and not have to worry about anything. But I don't know how to feel about this. Let's see.
Interacted with through
I already told you, but let's see. For me, it's more about the players than anything.
This has made it way easier and less cumbersome.
Because, let's be honest, guys. Right now, look at the chat. 40 plus, fairy gloves, 35 heal, selling boost, boar, selling this, selling that. There's no interaction again. It's TBC, so it's not a player. Selling gloves, selling that, selling boost, selling guild. Oh, look a guy. Enchant with plus 55. Ah, no, looking for... okay, never mind. Looking for boost, boosting this, boosting that, gold here, gold there. It's the players, it's not the game, okay? It's the players that changed.
A lot of social interaction between players.
Let's just be real and fully honest here.
Also reduced the need to keep up social connections with players you enjoyed playing with, because it's so easy to find people for your groups through the LFG tool.
Yeah, but
also the whole fast
the feeling doesn't even compare to when you play with friends. So anyway, you still have to have friends. Even in retail, I can play alone, but if I don't have my guild online to play with, I simply don't play the game. Like for me, WoW is still an MMO because I always play with someone, except in this case, you know, I'm taking this as a chill experience. But the end game, I always play, because here he was talking about the end game. I always play with someone because for me the end game is the experience with my friends, not the game itself. Personally,
skill-based endgame formula of retail
well,
often
let's see.
leaves little room and time for socializing with other players.
That's completely up to you. False again. It's up to the players. If you're so unskilled that you cannot concentrate on the Mythic Plus and the socializing, it's completely up to you. When I do Mythic Plus, first, I don't push too much because one, I don't care, and two, I want to socialize in the game. So again, it's your fault. The game is not doing anything to stop you from doing that. So again and again, as I said before, it's the player fault. Because me personally, I play my Mythic Plus dungeon while I talk to my friend and we have a great time. We joke around and stuff. So don't blame the fucking game. Thank you.
People are more focused on
You're just bad.
the content as efficiently and as fast as possible.
You're just bad. Absolutely not necessary. Not necessary to do. Oh, you cleared the Mythic Plus 2 minutes before you blah blah blah. You're so bad. No, not necessary. Just play for fun and be good.
Environment unappealing, and for that reason prefer classic and the social interactions that come with it. Okay, let's move on to the open world part of the MMO feeling. Retail WoW has had 9 expansions added to the game over the last
absolutely. The game changed completely.
Each of those expansions have come more zones and areas for players to explore.
Absolutely.
The downside to this, however, is the fact that while the open world has grown larger and larger, the player base of retail WoW has only grown smaller.
I'm not sure about that, but whatever.
There are far less players out there in the different zones of the open world, especially the older zones that don't have anything to do with the current endgame content.
Yeah, that's sad.
And dead because there's.
But let's not, guys. Are you fucking serious? Like, there's no one around me. I haven't met a single player. I mean, let's just be for real for a moment there. It happens here as well. I'm not in a super strange. I'm in fucking lock mode. The lock mode. I mean. It's not that stupid zone. I met one guy for now. No, it's not that the world is full of people. That's not... I mean, the capital, yeah, they feel empty though. I cannot lie. Yeah, that's not right. But this empty? I can never seen it this empty. Are you sure you haven't logged in like middle of the night or something? Whatever.
This results in many people feeling like they're playing a solo game, since outside of the current expansion
I am playing a solo game.
Rarely come across other players. Having an empty open world kills the MMO feeling of the game for many people and makes the game feel more like an RPG than an MMORPG. Many classic players say that the open world in classic feels much
event organized by someone, so not really an argument. I hope this video is not part of the argument, because this is an organized event. You think if you do the same thing in retail, you can actually
more alive, and for that reason they enjoy it a lot more. Now that we're done talking about the MMO feeling,
let's level 18 with killing mobs. Yeah.
I would argue that most MMORPG players enjoy the feeling of seeing the time and effort put into the game bear fruit in the form of their characters.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
This is, in fact, a very important part of the game for many players of WoW and other MMORPGs.
100%.
Well. And in classic WoW, in my opinion, the player power progression is done very well, and more time put into playing almost always results in a more powerful character.
Yeah, but at some point you will hit an end, you know. The progress, the upgrade is gonna be so little. Even in retail, but you have more room for improvement, you know. You can even improve on your skill, personal skill. In classic, you can't really improve on your personal skill. The game is so easy. You can literally, you have no room of improvement. You're just really bad if you cannot even play on the stupidest lowest level of your class, you know.
Whereas in retail WoW, the power progression system is very convoluted and distorted because of the different systems implemented.
Yeah, but that's true.
The
The system is bad.
let me try to explain this a little bit. First of all, in classic WoW, the player character's power progression is very linear from the very first level all the way up to the final endgame content.
True.
As you gain levels and gear, you feel their effect and get a satisfying loop of feeling your character's power grow and
I don't really feel the effect on every piece of gear, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
To take on more challenging content, which then again results in better gear and more levels. In retail WoW, however, more often than not, the level scaling of enemies and stats make it so that as you gain more levels, you...
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. The leveling should just be revamped, and the fact that mobs, even within the same expansion, I loved when I could go from one zone to the other and then go back to the previous zone and disintegrate every single mob. The last time we actually could do something like this was Draenor, I feel like, because in Legion then they added the squish with the all 4 zone, and the first time was actually cool, but then I lost interest very quickly. Or was it later? No, I'm having a hard time remembering. Was it in Legion or later? Anyway, it's very bad. I love when I can actually go to another zone and see the red enemies.
Actually become less
that's interesting.
Enemy scaling systems start to take effect.
Yeah, at some point you see a level 1 guy kill a boar faster than you can kill the same boar at level like 58. That's embarrassing. That's such a bad feeling. I agree. I totally agree on this point.
This feeling of
absolutely
your character getting worse.
And that's why I as well prefer vanilla leveling over modern WoW. Even though I'm a retail enjoyer, I prefer the classic experience feeling.
Progressing through the game seems to be a big turn-off for many players.
Yeah.
Another thing that many classic players don't like about retail's power progression is the fact that it is, in their words, an infinite treadmill. What people
okay.
Here is the fact that
I see.
retail WoW's seasonal progression system results in all power level progress becoming obsolete in the next season.
Yeah, okay, I also somewhat agree with this. Why? Let me explain. I like the feeling that in vanilla, WoW, you can get an item from an early raid. The last time I remember something like this was BFA with the lamp from Atshara and Legion with the crystal from the Magistrax, the hourglass like for Fury Warriors was so good. And that item, once you dropped it, was like the best thing ever, and you would carry it to the end of expansion. It was so cool. But again, the scaling on the level is so high. Even now, I hate the fact that we just switched expansion, you know, they squished everything. And looking at the numbers in the beta, they are already so high. Like the numbers in the beta are already so high. We just squished the level and people are already doing 1 million DPS on AOE packs. Like, damn, man, chill out. We just had a squish. I don't really agree with that, you know, way of playing the improving, quote unquote, improving, because it's not improving the game. So yeah, even on this point, I kind of agree with classic players. I also prefer the old way when you find an item and it's a really good item and you can use it throughout the expansion. but also I can understand the feeling that being the old content still viable, people would still be forced to farm the old content if they got unlucky. And that's something, honestly, you know what, now that I think about it, fuck them, because at least they have the old content, because nowadays when a new raid comes out, the old raid instantly becomes useless, and that's sad. So you know what? Fuck it. They should just revert the shit. I totally completely agree with classic players, yeah, on this
gear item level
absolutely.
differences between seasons, and also
Fuck the
the
shit.
various catch-up mechanics that help people reach better gear at the start of the season.
Yeah.
This means that the gear that is hard to obtain in this current season will be very easy to obtain in the next one.
Okay.
Making the effort put into gear in the current season not feel so impactful in the long term. Lots of people that answered my questions disliked the fact that your power level in retail WoW only stays relevant for the couple of months the season lasts.
That's
and then
true.
You have to start your progress all over again.
Yeah.
Next,
that's what I was
try
saying.
To make it more simple to understand the differences in power progression between retail and classic WoW through some graphs, since it's a lot harder to try and explain in words. Okay, let's start with classic WoW. Like I said before, classic WoW's power progression is very linear.
Absolutely.
You start at level 1, and each level and each gear upgrade will make you...
I would not really make it like this. I would make like 1 to 60s like this, and then 60 to 60s like this, you know, more on the, because at 60 you start doing raids and shit, so your power progression gets a spike. But you know what, that's whatever.
For you to overcome challenges.
Gets the point through.
Affected by any scaling systems, so for example a level 55 elite will be hard to kill at level 55, but once you get to level 60 and you obtain some gear, the elite will be much easier to kill.
I mean, that's in retail as well.
In retail, the scaling of enemies and seasonal resets make the power progression look more like a sine wave in a graph. Let's say an expansion starts
yeah, I see what it means.
The wave, and you have obtained good gear in the last expansion.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you start leveling and gaining more levels, the scaling systems start to take effect, and unless you constantly get good gear upgrades, the enemies will start to feel stronger and your character will start to feel weaker.
Yeah.
This is usually at its worst around the time you reach the new maximum level. Only after you reach the new maximum level and start obtaining better gear will the power level scale start leaning in your favor. This same power level sine wave will also continue through the many seasons in the new expansion, as the seasonal endgame content is scaled for the new seasonal item levels. So, in a nutshell, many players prefer Classic because of the linear power progression where every upgrade
I agree. It's better.
Upgrade, and power progression is not reset seasonally, and you can even take a year's break from the game and still have your character be as relevant as it was before you left.
I mean,
many players feel that they wasted their time gearing a character since that progress will eventually become.
I absolutely can see this, but again, you see, another problem is that people will get upset because otherwise the game will die even faster. Like, you play one month, you max out the shit, you log in 2 years later at the end of this expansion, you are still as strong as the day you left. Like, and all the players, you see, that's unfair on their point of now, because all the players that spend 2 years still playing the game, still grinding out new raids and new stuff, now are only slightly better than you. Like, it's good, but it's also unfair, you know what I mean? Yeah. Good but unfair.
Next we're gonna talk.
So a good balance would be have a good a few good items from the first raids, but not that you can be done within the first raid because all the items are way too good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like that's the best in between you can have. Yeah. Let's go.
Retail WoW's focus on endgame. One of the major issues that classic players find off-putting about retail is the fact that the game mostly revolves around current endgame content. The whole game feels like it's designed to rush you through the game and get you into the current endgame loop as fast as possible. This makes the leveling and early gearing part of the game
Okay.
feel more like an annoying obstacle than a natural part of the game. Many classic players feel like the leveling phase in retail is simply too fast.
Yeah, that's what I said. The leveling
is
sucks.
so fast that you can't even complete longer storylines of the game before reaching the maximum level. And for many people, the incentive to start doing the current endgame content at that point means that they rarely get to fully experience the stories.
But there's a huge problem that people are not considering right now, based on this. The possibility for a classic player to return to retail, I feel like is lower than a new player joining retail. So Blizzard would rather try to get new players to play the game rather than have old players just come back. You know, I don't feel like they have that much trust in classic player to come back, even if they fix the game like they wanted. Maybe they could retain a few. But you know, I feel like under this point in they are doing a decent job. Not many new players. For how much I hate leveling, thinking about this, I don't think much new players would enjoy the tedious and long leveling experience, you know. Because all their friends will be at max level already and be like, yo, I'm waiting for you. And they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, give me a minute and it's gonna take them hours, you know. So that's why I'm, not too sure about this.
WoW, however, is in stark contrast to what it is in the retail version.
Yeah.
In classic WoW, the leveling phase feels like a natural part of the game, and some players even enjoy it over the endgame content.
Yeah, me personally, I don't like the endgame classic.
A long time, but for me and
I like leveling.
Others, it doesn't feel like an obstacle to be quickly overcome.
Yeah, but see, the problem is that I see classic only as the leveling part. It's so much focused on leveling that for me classic is just leveling. After leveling there is no game. It's just reaching max level. After I reach max level I can just quit.
Also allows you to learn your new classes more easily as you're not bombarded with new abilities and passives.
That's just skill issue, but okay.
And you have a lot of time to get
that's literally just skill issue. Read. Just fucking learn how to read. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Just learn how to read.
Okay, the next major topic we're gonna talk about is complexity. Many classic players say that they feel very overwhelmed by the amount of different systems implemented to the game over the years. There are 20 years worth of different systems.
Yeah, but if you stayed throughout the whole process, I mean, the differences were not like bam boom. Like, yeah, they changed it from one expansion to the other in many cases, but it's not like you receive 20 differences one day and another. I don't get it.
There still are a lot of systems to learn and understand. What makes this situation
you don't have to understand and do it more. Do it all, you know.
A very good job of explaining these systems to
That's true. That's true.
This system sucks.
Why?
There, I said it. How is anyone supposed to ever figure this out unless
you fucking hell, man. No, I'm getting pissed because there is an entire quest line where you can read and then they explain how the system works.
Read a whole freaking handbook.
There's not an handbook, there's a fucking quest line where they guide you through it to make you understand how it works. Cyro, you... No, you were a master of PvP, but now you fall on the most basic thing. Man, you just read the fucking quest line. You're just like, oh, vanilla, oh, let me read, oh, this fucking don't ruin everything, oh, yeah, and then you cannot read the quest line on how to do the thing. Let me not get started. I'm sure Xyro, this guy has seen something about vanilla because he was confused on something, a quest line at some point. So you're telling me you don't want to invest 10 minutes of your time to look a video? It's short because the system is so easy, you can understand it in 1 minute. You put the fucking material in, someone craft that shit for you. How is that hard? I know it's just one example, but then pisses me off so much. God damn.
Also very hard to figure out intuitively, so more often than not, you have to Google how they work. Another thing that creates a new layer.
Things Google how it works also in vanilla, so okay.
Of complexity to
Not really an
the
argument,
game
but
is
whatever.
the fact that there are constant changes and updates being done to the game that affect class balance, systems, currencies, and so on. And in order to keep up with these changes, players have to read developer blue posts on the forums.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, I don't like my game to be upgraded. I want the same game for 20 years consecutive. Nah, that's such a stupid argument. These people don't think.
And WoW
I don't care. I'm
I
getting
personally
toxic.
read weekly
This
hot
is making me
posts and
pissed.
different
This
updates
pisses me off so
weekly to
much.
stay on top of things that are happening in retail.
No, you don't need to do that. Stop. You don't need to stop comparing yourself to fucking Method, Echoes, or Liquid. You don't need to do that, okay? You play the fucking game. Oh, my class feels a bit weaker. Oh, maybe they nerfed it. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still play the game. That's how you enjoy the game. Stop staying there and being like, oh, I need to do this, otherwise I cannot play the game. This. No, it's not true. It's such not true. It's so not true, it's insane.
Changes aren't being made.
You don't need to be that good. I feel like classic players expect me to play vanilla classic with full enchants and everything, and then when I have to do something in retail, they rant about how complicated it is. You're not playing with the right enchant on your weapon that you get from the second boss in this dungeon that is not very well known, but if you go look at every single guide, you can clearly see that. And then if I log retail, you go like, oh, no, I have to look at guides and things. Shut the fuck up.
A long break from the game, and when you come back, the skills and knowledge you've gathered so far will still be relevant.
Because the game progresses like everything.
Taking a long break and
tell me a fucking game when the game doesn't progress and it's good. Nothing. A game has to progress.
Might have reworked talents and a
completely
different playstyle.
And
previous experience is no longer that relevant. And many people that
get good.
My question said that they enjoy classic WoW over retail for this very reason. Some people prefer the fact that they know exactly what they're getting from a new character and how class balance and different systems work from the very first levels to the final end game.
Okay, so the classic balance works, so no classic balance, because in vanilla classic, the classic balance is dog shit.
Onto our final main
but okay.
Which is Warcraft feeling.
The Warcraft feelings I get it though.
Retail WoW has over the years lost its identity and...
But that's the problem of going mainstream. People think that the game peaked in Wrath of the Lich King. It's absolutely not true. I feel like retail now has way more players than there were in Wrath of the Lich King. They look less because we have something called server layering, but there are more players now because now it's on the attention of more people, you know what I mean? Like more people are looking at the game than before. So, and the game going media, going main media requires it to make some choices that are now a bit like Switzerland, you know, run in the middle or pander to the most amount of people, but are not per se the best choices, my opinion.
People have for a Warcraft game, both story and graphics wise. The lore and look of the game has in many players' eyes been very Disneyfied, and the story no longer
very Disneyfied. That's true.
Steps of the more brutal and war-focused pattern that Warcraft lore used to have.
Yeah.
The story of the game.
But also, you cannot have every single expansion be about war and killing each other, you know. At some point, it gets boring. So I get half of the point. Like, yeah, I agree. It doesn't. It's a bit bad if everything gets like boring, but at the same time, I cannot expect a game to have the same way of expressing itself for 20 years. That'd be a bit hypocritical of me. You know what I mean? Yeah,
It's
go on.
more of an emotional focus, and the major cinematics and storylines focus more on very Disney-feeling topics of family and friendship and feelings, which is the very opposite of what some people expect from Warcraft lore. I'm sure some people enjoy how the current story of the game is developing, but especially many classic players think that the story of retail WoW has thematically gone in a wrong direction.
I just thought to myself, I opened these talents, and these talents are completely wrong. And I swear to God, I know some vanilla player would look at these and go, why are your talents so wrong? Didn't you look at the guide? Referring to what we were saying like 2 minutes prior,
A
but
lot of WoW
whatever.
players grew up on Warcraft games and prefer to play classic WoW over retail because they feel like classic WoW still holds true to what they expect from a Warcraft game. Now we finally come to the last two questions that I asked classic players to share.
What would you like about retail if you're anything? Probably they're gonna say nothing. And what would you need to change to consider playing retail? And they're gonna say a lie. To just answer the thing.
Why I didn't try to figure out how retail WoW could be made more appealing to the classic audience. When asked about what classic players do like about retail WoW, the answers were mostly about the transmog system and some quality of life features.
Yeah, obviously.
But these two things were also often on the list of things that people didn't like about retail WoW, so I think the classic community...
That's why I say you cannot pander to these fucking people when you try to balance this game out. They don't even know in the whole community what they want. Some people just like me, they're enjoying the feeling of experiencing the progression in the leveling again. But most of these people just hate the fucking game without no reason. I don't know.
Somewhat divided on whether these things are a good or a bad thing. Okay, then moving on to the last question of what would need to change in retail.
Okay, I'm curious about this. What would they say?
And the vast majority of the people I asked answered that no amount of changes
yeah,
would make
see?
them want to play retail.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. The Blizzard knows that it's better to pander to new players and try to get new players back than try to get these fucking boomers from classic to retail back again. It's literally way easier. And you know why I say that? At the beginning of the video I said that I have a new friend that started playing WoW. He looked at the Vanilla Classic. It took me a long time to bring him to retail, and now he's having fun. He looked into Classic and said, what a huge amount of dog shit. Why? Because he does not want to pander to this fucking... doesn't want to waste time with just one fucking flight master per zone. He doesn't want to spend time walking around. And you know why? Because he's a new type of gamer. He started gaming way after I did. I grew up playing the old version of WoW. I'm used to this. But new players are not. The new generation of player is not. Many people don't like the slow pace of vanilla WoW. It's not for everyone. So please, vanilla player, I'm talking to you. Don't treat retail WoW like it's the plague for new players, and don't tell them to play vanilla WoW as a first game. Okay, they're not gonna like it. 99% of the players are not gonna like it. You're making Blizzard lose money. And why do I say? Because if they lose money, your Vanilla Classic Plus is gonna be worse. Because they're gonna cut on something. And now our experience is gonna be worse. So please, just be happy for everything we have in general. I'm happy about Classic for everyone. I'm happy about this and I'm happy about that. Please don't dogpile on the other side of the game because you don't like it. Be happy on everyone's behalf. Be positive. It's just a game. Be positive, please.
And unless the whole game is remade, they simply have no interest in playing it. And for this reason, I didn't try to think of how the issues classic players have with retail could be addressed.
Yeah.
Many people consider classic and retail WoW to be two very different games that are to be enjoyed for different reasons and in different ways. And I completely agree with this.
Yeah,
one.
absolutely,
So,
I agree. They are two
I
completely
enjoy
different
the
games.
fast-paced, difficult retail endgame and the collection of transmogs. and
Absolutely.
mounts, but I also enjoy the chill, classical MMORPG leveling and gearing experience that classic WoW has.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. I already told you what you think. I want to know your opinion.
So go to the comment section.
Ah, okay, never mind. Well, let's see some comments. I know it's gonna be... I'm gonna become retarded in like 1 second, but anyway, let's read these comments. I'm curious at this point. My favorite part about power progression in Classic WoW is finding green item randomly from mobs. That is better than anything you have. It's much... yeah, I like it as well. I like it as well. It doesn't happen anymore in retail. I also wish it could happen. I mean, I don't remember when the last time happened in retail. But anyway, now I ask why they don't like Classic. To see their point of view would be incredible. I swear many retail player would probably tell you, will probably stay on something that I said. And this guy said they will not shit on Classic like Classic player shit on retail. Like the Classic player is so much more toxic. Show the answer. 90% of them say the combat is boring and leveling takes way too long. Yeah. Combat is boring. Anyway, the best feeling about class, enter regiment remote, do some quest alone, you find someone doing the same quest. Invite, never happened. You kill girl, you comes to hour because you're... this is one every 2000 players, you know. It never happened to me that some way I got grouped to kill Hogger, and that's it. I got grouped more in 10 hours in retail than in 10 hours in Classic WoW of leveling experience, so not really an agreeable point for everyone, this one. So this is too long, I didn't want to read it. Retail feels like single-player action RPG with very large lobby. Classic feels like a world to explore and adventure with other players. That's just because you want to play the game this way. You can play the game however you like. In retail, you can also play the game like that if you are the interactive player. You are the one putting walls around you. Stop doing that and you'll enjoy the game more. And that's all for me. Thanks everyone for watching and stay connected to the stream. You can watch the stream at Twitch TV /Alice the Shrimp. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Let me know in the comment what you think about this one. I am sorry that it turned out to be a very long video, but it's a very heated topic for me, so I wanted to say everything I thought. The app is dying, my phone fucking died, so the model dead. Nice. And with me dying, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye bye guys. See ya.